Great Insects in Philosophy would not be a very long book. A gadfly was Socrates' word for himself for the job that he undertook, stinging the dumb horse of Athens awake until Athens swiped him away. He's also an expert on how gnats pass wind in an Aristophanes play. A fly stuck in a bottle was an image Wittgenstein used to describe a philosopher's plight when ideas get them trapped and confused, and part of Wittgenstein's answer to the philosopher fly's mental blocks was another six-legged friend, the beetle in the box. A colourful thought experiment, one of Wittgenstein's illustrations to show how easy it is to go wrong when we talk about our sensations. How words interfere with our inner world, put a spin on what we perceive. Wittgenstein's Beetle attempts to warn people of language's power to deceive. Imagine that everyone has a box with something that is inside. You can look in your own, but no one else's. All access is denied. The thing can keep changing. The box could be empty. That's all part of the game. But it's decided that the thing in the box needs to be known by a name, and we agree to call it a beetle, each one of them, all called the same. The problem, of course, is that each private box could be differently occupied, so the definitive meaning of beetle cannot be verified. If beetle means something top secret to you and something top secret to me, a discussion on beetles is merely about the boxes that we can see. It's nothing to do with insects. He chose the word beetle for fun. It's simply a name for the thing in the box. Other words would have done. The point is, a word may seem to add meaning, but actually add none. There's no way at all of knowing for sure what anyone's box may contain. An entirely private meaning, therefore, has no use in the public domain. And now, said Wittgenstein, take that word beetle and in its place put the word pain. When a child gets hurt, they cry or scream ow. They don't try to name their sensation. But as adults explain the concept of pain, the young mind makes its own correlation. We learn so-called pain behavior, sentences, exclamations, and how to use words like pain, sting, and hurt in everyday conversations. But what Wittgenstein says we can never do is 100% express the nature of the sensation that is causing us distress. No one can know what it is that we're feeling. The best they can do is guess. I can only infer what you're going through. Some barrier will always remain. Try as we might, it can never be true to say, I feel your pain. If I claim I know the meaning of pain based purely on what I can feel, so can everyone else. So what common meaning can that reveal? To rely on our solo inward perception feels natural but makes no sense. Meaning depends on the shared outside world, not private internal events. When we named all those different things beetles, nothing of value occurred. The only meaningful meaning exists in the public use of a word. So much of philosophy starts from within. Like I think, therefore I am. But the self needn't be the place we begin, unless we're on Instagram. This belief in our inner authority is what Wittgenstein questions and mocks. Why should the self take priority? Asks the beetle in the box. Wittgenstein was also surprised how anyone could swallow the notion that we perceive things inside in a language no others can follow. That each time we feel a mood or sensation, we think in terms of our own, which somehow we later get to translate into words that are publicly known. This self-centered concept for Wittgenstein had to be overthrown. Wittgenstein's private language argument has gained worldwide renown, but like so much of Wittgenstein's thinking, it's rather hard to pin down. It's not structured like an argument, there's no telling where he'll go next, and the words private language argument don't even appear in the text. It's a mashup of questions and metaphors, as Wittgenstein pours his thoughts out, which makes it one of those arguments people have arguments about. What's clear is Wittgenstein finds the idea an illogical one to embrace. The meaning of a shared word cannot come from a private database. The philosopher as therapist was how Wittgenstein saw his vocation, and putting language on the couch proved a full-time occupation. Because we use language to think, we need to think about how language works. Words form ideas so easily, the danger always lurks that our thinking may get misdirected by language's own peculiar quirks. Grammar tries to force itself upon us. That's what Wittgenstein found. Sometimes words define our experience when it should be the other way round. One problem with sensation words is the leap language tempts us to make that a word like pain corresponds to a thing, a fundamental mistake, as an objective thing is in no way the same as a subjective thought or sensation. It is not a something, but not a nothing either, he adds for clarification. So the danger exists that one innocent word can warp our interpretation, giving substance to something that isn't a substance, be it pain or fear or confusion, which may lead us to jump to assumptions and seek the wrong type of solution, stuck in a bottle and buzzing around like a furious, frustrated fly, bashing our heads against the same walls without understanding why. The beetle in the box was one of several attempts to explain the potentially misleading influence of language on the brain, an approach to semantics that may seem pedantic, bordering on the insane, but in defense of his own intense linguistic firefighting, Wittgenstein himself outlined the purpose of his writing, not to spare other people the trouble of thinking, but hoping the seeds might be sown to stimulate, if possible, someone to thoughts of their own.